200,000 farmers marching down one road straight toward the most powerful man in Japan, the Shogun. Who do you think won? The farmers actually won. That almost never happened, not in Edo, Japan, not ever. See, back then, if you stood up against the Shogun, you didn't just lose, you got wiped out. You, your wife, your kids, your cousins, gone. That's how the Shogun kept everyone scared and quiet. But one time, one farmer uprising broke all the rules. It's called the Nakasendo Uprising, and it's pretty wild. So, how does a bunch of farmers with no weapon and no army bring the most powerful government in Japan to its knees? Let's back up for a second, because you need to know just how bad things were for these farmers. First, guess how much of their rice the government took from these farmers? Half. Every single year, half the rice a farmer grew went straight to the government as a form of tax. Just gone. And the other half? That wasn't even really yours either, because you had to use it to buy tools, feed your oxen, buy seeds for next year's crop, and whatever tiny bit was left after all that, you had to feed your whole family through winter. There was never enough. Ever. And it gets worse. Farmers had another job dumped on them, one they never got paid for. And whenever a powerful lord traveled to Edo, his whole procession needed horses and porters and people to carry everything. And guess who had to provide all that? For free. The farmers who happened to live along the road. No pay, no choice, it's just expected of you. So picture it, you've barely got enough food to survive winter, and at any random day, a lord could roll through and force you to drop everything and work for him. And for nothing. Now, stack one more thing on top of that. In 1764, the government decided to throw this giant celebration. It was the 150th anniversary of the very first shogun. And to pay for it, they slapped even more taxes and even more forced labor onto these already exhausted farmers. That's when people snapped. It started tiny, just a few villages saying, no more, no more. Then a few more joined in, and then something happened that nobody saw coming.
The headman has arrived.
The village leaders, the guy who actually worked for the government, the ones whose job was literally to collect these taxes, they joined the farmers too. Think about that. Even the people inside the system had enough. So people started walking, right? They started walking towards Edo. And then more people joined in. And then more. Village after village, region after region. By the time it hit its peak, 200,000 people. Some say even more. This wasn't just the biggest farmer uprising of the year. It was the biggest one in all of Japanese history. But here's the thing, it didn't stay peaceful. As the crowd grew, some people started raiding the homes of the wealthy people, tearing down the buildings. This wasn't just a calm protest anymore. It was a chaos. It was spreading fast too. And that's exactly what put the shogun in trouble. Because 200,000 people heading straight toward the capital, that's a nightmare for any ruler, especially one who ruled by fear alone. So the shogun did something almost unheard of. He folded. The extra taxes, he canceled it. The forced labor, it was dropped. Just like that, the exact thing that started this whole uprising disappeared. The farmers finally won. But somebody still had to pay for it. The government needed someone to punish, someone to make an example out of, so people would remember who was really in charge. So they picked a man named Endo Hyonai. Endo was one of the village leaders and one of the first ones to stand up actually. So they arrested him, blamed him as a ringleader and executed him, the worst punishment the law allowed. Then they put his head on public display as a warning to anyone else who might get ideas. He gave his life so everyone else could keep their tax break. Endo never became the villain in people's eyes. People quietly started honoring him. He became known as a Yiming, a righteous man who sacrificed himself for everyone else. And people still visit his memorial today. They still say thank you to him. So who actually won here? The farmers got their tax relief. The shogun backed down, something that basically never happened before. But the man who helped make it happen never got to see it. He paid with everything he had. So maybe that's the real lesson in a story like this. Nobody walks away clean. Somebody always pays the price for change. The question is just who and whether we remember them for it. If you want to go deeper into the story of this road, I made several videos on it. The links are in the description below. Go check it out. And if you like this story, hit the like and subscribe button. There's a lot more history like this to tell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.